everybody and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet channel. In this crochet tutorial I will be showing you how to create this beautifully simple textured stitch. It's a 2-row repeat, so it's a nice mindless one to get on with while you're watching something on the telly or something, but it also gives a really nice but very subtle textured effect. So as you can see, it's not leaping out at you, it is just a really subtle texture that you build with this pattern. So I will just show you the back. There is a right and wrong side, but they do both have their own texture in their own way. So this is the back, and then this is what I would consider to be the front. So like I say, it's not one that jumps out and bites you on the nose with the texture, it is just really subtle, and it works great in variegated yarns like this one that I've used here, but it would also look absolutely beautiful and maybe even slightly more noticeable when worked in a single colour as well. So it's totally up to you what yarn you choose to use, just use whatever hook size your chosen yarn recommends. So I'm just going to be using this variegated chunky yarn, basically so it does all of the hard work colour changes wise for me. I don't have to think about it. But obviously you can use absolutely any yarn that you wish, whether it's really thin, DK or chunky, you can use absolutely anything and then just use the recommended hook size. So as I say, you can change colour every row, every 2 rows, every 9 rows. It's literally completely up to you. It's more than anything, it's the texture that you build with this pattern that gives it that lovely finish. So you want to do your foundation chain in an even number, so that's obviously just a multiple of 2, and you just chain until your chain is the width of you for your project. So yarn over, pull through, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, don't do your foundation chain too tightly, otherwise your work will distort as you work it up. So just chain an even number. Okay, so at this point I'm going to add 1 chain to the end, so complete your chains and then add 1 to the end, and then we're going to go into the 4th chain from the hook. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and this is our 4th, and you're going to do a treble. So remember, these are UK terminology trebles, so in the US these are your doubles. So yarn over, insert into that 4th chain, yarn over and pull up. You've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So those skip chains count as our first treble, and then this is our next treble. Yarn over, insert into the next chain along, and complete your treble. So this foundation row will just be 1 UK treble crochet or US double crochet into every single chain all the way along until you get to the end. So if you just complete that, and I will meet you at your slip knot where you started from in just a second. So I've done my foundation row. At this point you can either turn and chain 2 to count as your first stitch, or you can do what I am about to do, and that is to insert my hook into this very first stitch here. So straight into that first stitch, go through the whole of the stitch catching the V, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both of those loops. You'll then see you've got 2 vertical posts. You want to go behind this post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, and that just gives you a treble height stitch but without the gapping that you would get with a chain 2. So this part now is where we're going to start building the texture. So the texture will all be on the same side. So you want to do a front post treble around the post of the next stitch. So we've worked for this one, so this is our next stitch. So you want to yarn over, go behind the back of that stitch and out the other side, yarn over and pull up nice and tall, and then complete your treble as normal. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then into the top of the next treble you will do a normal treble. So go through the whole of the stitch, so yarn over and insert again, like I say, whole of the stitch, and then complete your treble. And then again you're going to do a front post treble around the next stitch. So yarn over, around the back of that next stitch and out the other side, yarn over and pull up, pull up nice and tall, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then normal treble into the top of the next stitch. And you will alternate that all the way along. You see we're starting to get some of that lovely texture, and you'll do that all the way along, and I will meet you as you get towards the other end. Okie dokie, so I'm at the point now where I've got 2 stitches left, so I've just done a normal treble and I've got these 2 stitches, so I'll be doing a front post treble around this stitch here, and then my very last stitch will be a normal treble into the top of those skipped chains from the foundation chain, so just anywhere at the top of those skipped chains. So that is how you should be looking at this point. So we are getting a little bit of that texture. So again, at this point, I will just mention very quickly now if you were to change colour. So if you were to be changing colour at any point on any row, this is the way that I would recommend to do it. So with that final treble, I would stop with 2 loops on my hook, and I would grab my new colour and I would pull it through those last 2 loops and do a chain 1 and just pull that down to tighten up, and then I would carry on with my turn and straight into that first stitch. So if you were changing colour on any row, you would do it that way. But as I say, I'm using a continuous variegated yarn. So I have turned and I'm going to insert my hook. As I say, you can chain 2 to do your starting chains, it's up to you. And then I will yarn over and pull through both, or you can do it the same way as me. And then behind the vertical post of that stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. So this row is the second row of your pattern repeat. So that last row was the first row, and this row is the second row. So we are just going to be doing a row of UK trebles all the way along. So into every single stitch, starting in this very next stitch here, you will put a treble crochet. So 1 treble in every single stitch all the way along. So again, I'm just towards the end here. Always make sure that you work into your very last stitch. So on this row you'll have the back of a front post treble, and then you've still got this stitch that we did at the beginning of that row to work into as well. If you're not very good at keeping your edges straight, then please do use stitch markers, just so that your edges stay perfectly neat all the way up. So at this point now, you will go back to the other row that we started before this one, so row 1 of the repeat, which is where you are doing your post stitches, but you'll just turn and straight into that first stitch. You'll work up your starting stitch, however you prefer, and then straight away around this first stitch here, this very next stitch, you'll start with your front post treble. And then a normal treble into the top of the next. And again, you'll just work that all the way along until you get to the other end, where you will be finishing on a normal treble. So again, my 2 stitches left, I will be finishing with a front post treble and then a normal treble into that very last stitch. So again, that is how we are looking so far. If I turn this slightly, you can see that beautiful texture. So it's very subtle, but it's just really, really nice one to work up. So I'm going to work up a few more rows now so that you can see how it looks. But that is it for the tutorial part of this video, and I will see you again in just a sec. I've worked up quite a few more rows here now, and you can see that lovely texture that you build. Like I say, it's a really nice subtle one, but I just thought it was really pretty and gave a really nice effect. But that is it for this tutorial. If you liked it, then please remember to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe. But I will see you for another video really, really soon. But thanks as always for watching, and bye for now.